on this edition of Lifeguard.
Code 3, we've got a person face down in the water.
I'm the first person on scene. I'm going to get in there and start performing CPR.
The quicker that we respond, the better off that person will be.
And a massive rip current puts multiple lives in danger.
They drifted where he could no longer touch the bottom.
The water got real deep, didn't really know what's going on.
Plus, an out-of-control boat terrorizes beachgoers.
It looked like they were gonna flip at one point. I was worried he was gonna hit me, I was that close.
And later.
Can you dispatch a standard medical aid cliff response to Sunset Cliff?
The only way she was gonna get out of there was to be hauled up. And we kept trying to help her be calm.
The Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline.
It's just really us versus nature.
And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water. I need medics to ski beach dock and other units.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, 3, 4. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are gonna happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. This is Huntington State Beach. It's a 2-mile stretch of sand facing south, located between Huntington City Beach and Newport Beach. A storm off Baja, Mexico has resulted in today's south swell, and a recent string of rip-related rescues has lifeguards on high alert.
We have these dangerous rip currents, and there's some that are consistently found in the same areas. So down by Brookhurst Street, Towers 2, 3, 4, we always have kind of a recurring rip there, just the way the bottom of the ocean is formed.
Today's swell pushes the current west, forming inshore holes parallel to the beach. In addition, a low tide is pulling water back out into the ocean, creating rips in front of Tower 4.
There's gonna be a lot of rescues that are basically gonna come from the south. There's people who are gonna enter the water around Tower 2 or 3, and they're gonna drift with the current. So they're gonna try and swim back in, but because the current's moving them so fast, they won't be able to swim back in at all, and they're actually gonna go out.
As predicted, veteran lifeguard Gray Lang spots 2 teenage swimmers in distress near Tower 3.
I noticed 2 victims, so I entered the water up current from them. The reason being is that they're moving with the current, so as they're coming this way, I'm trying to cut them off.
As Lang enters the water, nearby lifeguard supervisor Jeff David backs him up at Tower 4.
We always try and backfill our towers, so we always have ice on the water.
The current gains strength as lifeguard Lang swims out. From his vantage point on the tower, David can see that the rip current is pushing Lang off course.
He got pushed up coast as well. He couldn't see them, and I was pointing directly to the victims that were down coast. And when he looked back at me, and then he saw where he needed to go.
When we're in the water, we can't get that view up and looking down and see everything. So the communication when we're in the water is huge. When I got to the victim, he had just come onto the hole where he could no longer touch the bottom.
Lang reaches the victim just as he submerges under a wave.
When I reached the victim, he took the buoy. I had to tell him to lash onto it really hard.
The victim is secure, but 20 yards to the south, the other is struggling.
The victims had separated a little bit, so I was on one and I looked to the other one, and I noticed that my flanking tower guard had gone out as well. So I knew I could focus on the one victim that I had.
With the aid of the Tower 3 guard, both victims have been rescued.
They probably drifted maybe 150 yards within a matter of a couple minutes.
Me and my friend John, we were swimming out there, and after a while, we couldn't feel the bottom. Our stuff is way down there, and we ended up way over here in like 5 minutes. I haven't been in the ocean much, and I figured I could do it, but I couldn't.
I got a little nervous, kind of confused, both at the same time. Like wondering how far we got out. I was really surprised to see a lifeguard. I didn't even know where he came from. Popped up out of nowhere. I was trying to swim back, but he helped me out a lot.
They weren't very good swimmers. They weren't prepared to be out there. They were in a position they shouldn't have been in.
It worked out great. No one drowned. Everyone was rescued. No one was hurt.
We all work as a team, and we all know our roles, and we all, play them very well.
We try and educate people and keep them out of those areas, but you never know when they're going to occur.
This is San Diego's Mission Bay. The man-made aquatic park covers over 4,000 acres. It's a hotspot for sailboats, water skiers, windsurfers, and of course, personal watercraft. It's also home to the San Diego Lifeguards Boating Safety Unit, which handles all types of duties, from boat towing to issuing citations to handling medical calls.
Safety is our #1 concern out here. So you want to inform the people of the rules and regulations. You want to make sure that they're safe, that they go home the next day. It can be very stressful and very hectic at times.
Today, 80-degree weather and an unusually strong south wind have attracted novice boaters to the bay, resulting in several incidents.
Hit the red button, hit the red button. There you go. Right.
Line's clear. Have a seat, everybody.
While winds are distressing novice boaters in the bay, lifeguards uncover something much more urgent at nearby Ocean Beach.
We've got a person face down in the water. That means code 3, all hands on deck. We've got a serious one.
Lifeguard Sergeant Eric Kerr and Michael Fink race to the pier by truck, as lifeguards Adam Spahn and Ryan Graves respond by personal watercraft. Boating Safety Unit lifeguards Rick Stell and Jeff Jordan also hear the call.
We responded code 3, and we're fighting against time. I mean, the quicker that we respond and get there, the better off that person will be.
Lifeguards Kerr and Fink are first to reach the pier.
As soon as my crewman was about to jump in, the jet ski was approaching, so they really almost got there simultaneously.
Lifeguard Fink spots the man 45 feet below, still face down and motionless.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm the first person there. I'm the first person on scene. I'm going to get in there and flip that body over and start performing CPR.
Within seconds, he reaches the victim.
We flipped the body over. The mouth was frothing, sputum, and the arms were in full rigor mortis, so we knew that there wasn't anything we could do.
Lifeguard Rick Stell arrives on a rescue boat just as Fink is bringing the body away from the pier.
When we got on scene, my crewman Jordan and I were able to determine that the person had been down for a long period of time, and it was more of a recovery than a water rescue.
Lieutenant Nick Lerma assumes incident command at Lifeguard headquarters.
Once we know that that patient is not viable, we can't resuscitate it, is to sort of drop back a little bit and then make way for the police to come in and perform their investigations.
Under police department supervision, lifeguards load the man's body and transport it back to the dock at the Boating Safety Unit.
The lifeguards' role in working with the police department in this type of scenario is to get them information. If there's anything we know from our experience as lifeguards related to the ocean, the currents, anything like that, then we'll let them know.
Welcome to San Diego, California. Lifeguards protect the city's 17 miles of coastline 24 hours a day, making San Diego one of the safest beach towns in America. Lifeguards here average 5,000 rescues in a busy year. The job can be both physically and mentally demanding. And for many lifeguards, like 20-year veteran Rick Strobel, a day off is well-deserved.
It's just a beautiful day here in San Diego. It's ideal weather, about 80 degrees, about 68-degree water temperature. So I've taken advantage of it and taken my boat out with a couple of my good friends.
Joining Rick are fellow lifeguard Rod Messenger and their friend Abe.
Okay, all on the rail. This is the kind of stuff that you think about when you're dealing with the 13th rescue in 14 minutes. And trying to square away everybody's lost kids and all that stuff. It just goes away when you come on here.
Everything that takes place in the water relates to lifeguarding because we respond to all kinds of emergencies. We respond to sailboat emergencies. So knowing how to rig a boat, know how to bring down the sails during an emergency to effect the rescue, it's very important. It definitely ties into lifeguarding.
Bye-bye!
Our job, it's kind of built around a passion for the ocean. Rod, myself, we're good friends at work, and we're good friends off work as well.
Coming around Helmsley.
So you just watch your head.
When you're out here on your days off, it's kind of like work. We put ourselves in situations where you never know what's going to happen next.
Time stops for no one, and that includes lifeguards. The next day, Sergeant Rick Strobel finds himself back in the same spot, responding to an emergency instead of relaxing.
Mission Beach, can you start heading code 3 for a boat in the surf off San Fernando?
We had a 16-foot jet drive boat come out of Mission Bay and just quickly turn towards shore and start driving through swimmers.
Lifeguard Alex Green was in Tower 12 when he noticed the same out-of-control jet boat crashing through the surf.
I couldn't believe it. I was saying, oh my God, like this is really happening. I've only heard about this in scenarios.
Lifeguard Charlie Knight reacts to the call on a personal watercraft, while lifeguard Grant LeBeau departs code 3 from Mission Beach.
Along the way, I saw them. It looked like they were going to flip at one point. They were going down the face of the wave, and the only reason why they didn't flip was just because they were going so fast.
I was out there waiting to catch a wave, and all of a sudden I saw the boat coming in. I was worried he was going to hit me. I was that close.
South Mission Beach, the water is clear around the vessel. It's going to be a sea-doo. It's on the sand.
Sergeant Rick Strobel heads to Tower 12 to take over command.
I looked down the beach and I could see the boat just inside the surf, and before we knew it, the boat was on the beach.
Lifeguards arrive in force to find the jet boat beached. The swimmers are now safe, but the boat is stuck in the impact zone. Lifeguards rush to get the driver and passenger out as quickly as they can.
Once we got to them, we want to get them off of the boat safely. You don't want them to jump off the stern of the boat and have a wave push the boat over them. So you want them to jump off the bow, jump off to the side, get them away from the boat.
We were trying to maneuver, try to get out of it, but the wave was high, and we didn't have a chance to even think what was happening, So we just pushed ashore to the beach.
Yeah, just try to keep it bow out, and we'll arrange for a tow off the beach. You got a four-wheel drive what?
Yeah, it's a Hummer.
You got a Hummer?
Yeah.
All right, jump in my car and we're gonna go for a ride. Two inexperienced people, very nice people. They were looking for a dock. Obviously, they were in the ocean. They weren't gonna find a dock out here.
I'm from Canada, so we don't have these waves in Canada.
They're very lucky that they didn't get hurt, and they're very lucky that they didn't hurt somebody else.
Huntington Beach is one of the best surf spots in all of Orange County. It's home to the Surfers Hall of Fame, and the waves here are as famous as the people who ride them. Past champions include Brett Simpson, Stephanie Gilmore, Rob Machado, and of course, Kelly Slater.
I spent a lot of time here, actually in Huntington Beach as a teenager. It's really open to any Southern Hemisphere swells, so we got really clean surf.
For 1 week each year, Huntington Beach plays host to the biggest surfing competition in America, the U.S. Open of Surfing.
The U.S. Open is the largest surfing contest actually in the world as far as number of spectators. It's a great event. It's been going on for a long time. Brings all the top pros from around the world to Huntington Beach and brings a lot of people down here to watch all the top pros.
For lifeguards, extra visitors mean extra vigilance.
Everybody's on their toes. We have to be on our A game on weekends like this because there's a lot of distractions on today. You could get focused in on where the crowds are, but where the crowds aren't necessarily where the danger is going to be. So you have to be aware of everything that's going on in your area.
With additional staff on duty to manage the crowds, lifeguards work as a team to control and protect the contest zone. The lifeguards on Tower 3 keep swimmers from entering the contest area, while a guard on the pier watches the competitors.
How far out is the swimmer?
And if anything should happen, a lifeguard on a personal watercraft is stationed on the sand.
Surfers find themselves in trouble sometimes too. We've had cases in the past where they get wrapped up in a piling or something like that on a big south swell, and so we're the ones who are going to respond to that.
The Huntington Beach Pier has created a shift in the sand around it. The result? Several inshore holes that increase wave height and wave speed close to the dangerous pilings.
The thing about Huntington and the south side of the pier here, if there's any swell out in the water anywhere, this will probably be one of the better places as far as, being able to pick up the swell.
It is this consistent surf that brings the U.S. Open here every year. And it's the same reason why most of these lifeguards call Huntington Beach their home.
I would say about every lifeguard in the department enjoys surfing.
I like it when our guards surf, and I try to encourage them just because it means they're spending more time out in the environment that they're working in.
You do know the ocean. You respect it. You know how tides work. You have a sense for how swell direction and how just the conditions are going to be.
I think being a surfer definitely has an advantage when you're learning how to be a lifeguard. Just in the fact that it's easier to read the waves, it's easier to know what the weather's doing, because you're here every day and you see what's going on.
An avid surfer, lifeguard Dodger Kreml has been coming to the U.S. Open long before he joined the department.
The U.S. Open is always a special contest for me. I grew up surfing here. I'm born and raised in Huntington, and I competed a few years in the longboard event, and I ended up winning in 2006, which was the best day of my life. Got a couple good ones, and it was amazing. So this contest is definitely a huge part of my life, and I'm really always happy to come and watch it.
The U.S. Open takes place over 9 days each year. Thanks to the Huntington Beach lifeguards' preparation and commitment, an average of 50,000 people are protected each day.
Guards did a great job of being very proactive. We had a lot of people down by the water, especially down by the pier. Tomorrow it's going to be different. Tomorrow a lot of people will be gone. We'll start to do the cleanup here. We can sort of get back to our normal operations, but it was a good, successful week for the U.S. Open.
My name's John Kerr. I've been on the beaches doing a lot of surfing for a long time before I was a lifeguard. Things with the ocean change by the hour. I need to know what the tide's doing. I need to know what the swell direction is. I need to know what the sun's doing. I can gauge pretty much how my day's gonna go before the sun comes up just by knowing what the weather's gonna be. We spend hours and hours looking at the ocean, and to say that we're obsessed with it wouldn't be too far off. The feeling that I get when I'm going for a rescue is initially it's recognition followed by terror. How long can he hold on? How long is it going to take me to get there? What am I going to need? Okay, now I'm moving, now I've got my stuff. Once you actually get there and you have contact, you have a conversation, even just a couple words, it's pretty surreal, especially when you've got the victim on board. Either it's the boat or maybe you're just towing them, maybe you're just swimming and towing them, and you realize, okay, we're going to be all right. The thing with lifeguarding is the people. People from out of town, people from down the street, people from across town, people from across the world. It's the people that you rescue. It's the people that come up and shake your hand. It's the people who are in tears hugging their child because you did the right thing. Being a lifeguard is the best thing that ever happened to me. It put me on track to be a more successful and better person. The more you put into lifeguarding, the more you get out of it. And it's not just about rescues, it's about your co-workers, it's about your supervisors, it's about the public at large. I think the more that you're involved with it and the more you look at it, both from your own perspective and from the 10,000-foot big picture view, I think you'll be a lot more successful.
This is Sunset Cliffs, California. The 2-mile stretch of coastline is defined by its beautiful sandy beaches, tucked between steep rocky cliffs. To get on the beach, people must climb down treacherous trails of loose sandstone. The reward is a private beach experience. But what goes down must also come up, and that is where things can go wrong.
Dispatch, can you dispatch a standard medical aid cliff response to Sunset Cliffs, Ladera Street?
To San Diego lifeguards, a cliff response can be incredibly serious. Lifeguard Sergeant Travis Gleason departs Ocean Beach headquarters for the scene and radios for more detail.
The only information we had was a medical aid at Sunset Cliffs. Fires advised that it's on the beach, unknown if it's going to be what type of extrication.
Lifeguard Sergeant Rick Strobel and Alan Cracklow depart Mission Beach for the scene.
We're sending what we call a standard cliff response, which we try to get 7 people there. And so Alan and I are responding from Mission Beach to help with the Ocean Beach crew.
Lifeguard Travis Gleason is the first sergeant on scene.
The patient's at the bottom down the beach. Medics are down assessing what level of excavation we need to do. At this time, we'll be setting up a system anticipating a haul, and I'll be establishing Ladera Command.
Sergeant Rick Strobel and other fire department personnel arrive at Sunset Cliffs and quickly gear up for a rescue.
I just need somebody to be edge pro.
I can do that.
The victim's medical condition requires a cliff rescue extraction. Incident Commander Gleason calls for action.
Just got word from medics down below that it's a female, and we'll need to do a litter all the way to the top.
Mike Gilmore is the first lifeguard to reach the victim.
Generally speaking, we all know because we worked here a while, anybody sick down on the beach isn't going to be able to walk up on their own. So we just started preparing for a cliff call.
The 23-year-old woman reveals to Gilmore that she's afraid of heights. With dusk rapidly approaching, lifeguards must act quickly to get her off the beach.
You guys ready to haul? Yeah, we're ready. Stand by.
The victim has no serious trauma, and her fear of heights is complicating the difficult extraction.
She was really uncomfortable. She doesn't like heights, so she kept wanting to take all the lines off.
I want to go.
And we kept trying to help her be calm. She kept fighting, and I told her, the only way you're going to get out of here is to be carried out. So just bear with us, and we'll get you out of here.
Tension on the leg.
Touch it slowly, take a new bite.
You're fine, Katie.
Okay, slow. Slow, stop.
Hey guys, thanks for the hauling effort, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you so much.
The young woman is taken to the ambulance, where her vital signs are checked.
Do you have any medical history or anything like that?
We got her to the top, and now she's over with paramedics being evaluated, and it was a good rescue.